Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all can hear me. Can you guys confirm once?
Very good evening, sir. Thanks.
Okay, good evening guys. Thanks for confirming the session. So let us start the session. So if you guys remember, we have seen about what is data engineering. Yesterday we had a first demo session, right? In the first demo session, we have seen about what is data engineering, isn't it? So what is data engineering and what is the role of a data engineer? We have seen yesterday. And we have also seen about what is Google Cloud Platform. So we have also seen about what is Google Cloud Platform and what are the benefits of the using the Google Cloud Platform over the other cloud platforms and why we need to use the Google Cloud Platform also I have told you yesterday. And we have also seen the course curriculum, the detailed course curriculum, and what are the topics that we are going to cover for the storage and database services and for data pipeline creations, ETL pipelines, ingestion pipelines, all of those things, whatever the topics that are required, I have told you about the detailed course curriculum also, isn't it? So today I am going to start with our very first topic, that is how do we interact with the GCP services. Okay, so to recap, what is Google Cloud Platform? First, Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider which provides you cloud computing services for the organizations for deploying the services, building the applications, scaling the applications and services in the cloud platform. What is this one, sir? It is one of the leading cloud provider which provides you the cloud computing services to the most of the organization so that they can able to build, deploy and scale the applications and services in the cloud platform. And it provides you highly reliable and secure and scalable infrastructure that enables businesses to leverage the power of Google's extensive network and data centers. Okay, so that is what we have seen. So in Google Cloud Platform we have a plenty of the services, isn't it? And few of the services I have mentioned, such as the compute services, identity and security services, management tools, networking services, big data services, storage and database services, and machine learning services. So this is a few set of services that Google Cloud Platform is offering, and we are going to focus on these services. Okay, we are going to focus on these services. To do that, if one wanted to work in the Google Cloud Platform, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, we need to have a interface methods. Can anyone tell me why do we have to interact with the GCP services? Why do we have to interact with the GCP services? Anyone? Why we need to interact with the GCP services? Why a data engineer has to interact with the GCP services? For data ingestion, so if I wanted to become, I am a data engineer, I will be working on some data ingestion activities. I wanted to store the data, I wanted to process the data, or I wanted to analyze the data, or I wanted to visualize the data, right? So we as a data engineer, we wanted to work on these many activities, right? So for monitoring or governance, so we as a data engineer, we will be have to work on multiple data engineering activities, right? So we as a data engineer working on multiple data engineering activities such as data ingestion, data storage, processing, analysis, visualization, monitoring and governance. Okay, so if one wanted to work with the data engineering Google Cloud Platform, they are going to do all of these activities, right? A data engineer. So if one wanted to do all of these activities, you need to have a interface methods. You need to have a interface methods. So those interface methods, we have totally 3 interface methods are there. I'm going to tell you. So if one wanted to interact with these many GCP services, we need to have interface method. The very first one is console. A console is one of the graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. And the next one is Cloud Shell. The third one is Cloud SDK. The fourth one is APIs and third-party tools. So if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, they have totally four methods are there. One is console, the second one is Cloud Shell, the third one is Cloud SDK, the fourth one is third-party tools and APIs. Okay, so these many three interacting methods are there. Let us try to understand each and every method one by one. Let us try to understand each and every method one by one. The very first method I would like to talk about is that console. Okay, console. People usually also call it as a cloud console. So what is console? Sir, console is a web-based. It is a web-based graphical user interface. It is a web-based graphical user interface. It is a web-based because it is available over the web only, and it is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. So here we are going to interact with the GCP services. Okay, so the interaction can be done via the visually. You are going to interact with the GCP services visually. So this is what is console, everyone. What is console? It is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. Sir, can you show me? So I am going to the Google Cloud platform, everyone. So this is how our Google Cloud platform looks like. Don't worry about this one. I am going to tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP in our upcoming sessions. Maybe today or tomorrow, I am going to tell you how to create this free tier account. Okay. So this is what is our console. This is a graphical user interface, you see. So if I click on here, I'm able to see this many things. Okay, and if I wanted to create, I wanted to list out the buckets. So you go to the cloud storage and you can able to list out the buckets. So see here, we can able to list out all the buckets here. So we have this many buckets are there. Okay, so we can also list out the BigQuery data set. You can also go for BigQuery. See what I am trying to do? I am trying to interact with the different services here using the graphical user interface. So that is what I'm calling as a console. This is what is my console. So I can able to list out all the data sets, and inside the data set I can able to list out all the tables. So this is what I'm calling it as a graphical user interface. Okay, so graphical. So you can also create some kind of a data set. So if one wanted to create a data set, they can click on this one, they can create a data set. Click on create. So this is what this kind of interaction we usually call it as a graphical user interface. Here we are interacting with the services visually. So that is the reason we call it as a console. Okay, we call it as a graphical user interface which is available over the web. So that's the reason it is called as a cloud console, everyone. Okay, so that is, sir, what we can do here. If you ask me, we can do anything here. So if you ask me what we can do here, sir, you can do almost anything. So you can able to create a bucket. You can create the bucket, or you can also list out the buckets also. You can create bucket and list the buckets. Okay, you can create a data set and tables also. You can create some kind of a cluster. Okay, you can also do the data processing. Okay, you can assign some IAM policy also. Assign IAM policy also. So this, all of these activities you can able to do it from the console, and even more, many more also you can able to do it from the console, everyone. Okay, so this is what is console. A console is a web-based the graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. Visually, we can able to interact with the GCP services, guys. Okay, so this is what is console. Any questions, anyone, on the console? Okay, so the next thing is that the cloud shell, everyone. Okay, the next part is cloud shell, everyone. The next one is cloud shell. So let us try to understand what is a cloud shell. A cloud shell is a one of the, again, web based. It is also a web based command line interface. It is a command line interface. So it is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. How do we interact with the GCP services here? Sir, here we are going to interact with the GCP services via commands. So that is what is a cloud shell, everyone. Okay, so what is console? Sorry, what is cloud shell? A cloud shell is a a cloud shell is a command line interface which is available over the web. So here we are going to interact with the GCP services via commands. Okay, via commands we can able to do it. Sir, it is available over the web. Can you show me? So if you ask me, if you go to your home page, let me gonna give you a small tour towards our home page. Let me gonna give you a small tour, guys, towards our home page. So this is how our home page looks like, isn't it? Okay, so this is our home page looks like. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So this is our left navigation menu. When I say left navigation menu, this is our, I call it as a left navigation menu, or you can also call it as a hamburger menu. It is also called as a hamburger menu. And this is our project area. So whenever we wanted to create a project or delete a project, or we wanted to select any project, you can go to the project area. So the moment when I say a project area, this is what is our project area. And the next one is search box. So if one wanted to search any kind of a product or services, they can able to come here and they can able to search here. Okay, so that is what. And here you have a Gemini. So for all of the GCP candidates, they can able to use the Gemini for free. You can also use Gemini. You can able to click on this one for Gemini. And as I told you, you will be having a free trial status button which tell you how much amount of a how much amount of a money left for how many days. Okay, we are in a free trial status. As I told you already, for 90 days you are going to get a $300 in money, and you can able to spend over for next 90 days. Okay, so in the free trial I'm going to tell you how to create a free trial status, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, so that you will also be able to get a 90 days free trial. Okay, so that is how I will tell you. So this is what is that button about. And the next one you see here, this is what is our activate cloud shell button. So this is what is our activate cloud shell button, what I am telling you this one today. Okay, so this is what is our activate cloud shell button, everyone. Okay, so the green is also not good. Maybe yellow is okay. Let me go with the same color. So that is what is our activate cloud shell button, everyone. So this is what it is. Okay, so that is what is your activate cloud shell button. So the moment you hit the button, what will happen? See, I'm hitting that button. So you see here at the bottom, cloud shell terminal is getting activated. What is happening? The cloud shell terminal is getting activated, you see here. Okay, so cloud shell terminal is getting activated, you see. So we are inside the cloud shell terminal. I can also open this cloud shell terminal in the next window also. I'll show you that. So this is how our cloud shell terminal looks like. As I told you that it is a command line interface. Cloud shell is what, sir? It is a web based command line interface to interact with the services via commands, right? You can see here that is what I'm doing, the same thing. It is available over the web only. We have activated the cloud shell and the cloud shell terminal gets opened here. Earlier we were listing out the buckets, right? So if one wanted to list out the buckets, we go to the cloud storage. We go to the cloud storage and we can able to list out. So this many buckets are there. So I can also list out the buckets using the cloud shell also. We can also list out the buckets using the cloud shell also. You see here total how many buckets are there? 6 buckets are we are able to list out. The same thing I can also do it from the cloud shell terminal also with the help of the commands gsutil ls. See, I'm running a command called gsutil ls so that you can able to list out the buckets using this command. See, the same number of buckets we are able to list out here, guys. I will tell you how do we how to know all of these commands. We will be having a separate session on all of these commands. In our upcoming sessions we are going to cover that. For now, you try to understand that we can also interact with the GCP services from the Cloud Shell terminal. With the help of the command line interface called Cloud Shell, we can also interact with the GCP services for our data engineering activities. Right? So I can able to list out the bucket data sets also. Earlier we are able to list out the data sets, right? So this is how we can able to list out the data set. And similarly, we can also list out. Hello, is someone talking? Okay, yeah, no problem. Yes, so we can also list out. Can you guys confirm? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we can also list out the tables. If one wanted to list out the data sets, they can able to do that. If one wanted to list out the tables also, they can able to do that. So BQ ls test underscore db. So you can able to list out the tables also inside that particular data set. So this is how one can able to create the tables and list out the tables, or assign some IAM policy, or whatever the thing that they wanted to do it, they can also do it here, guys. 1 minute. One minute, everyone, please. Okay, I hope it is clear. Yeah. So one can also be able to interact with the GCP services. As I told you, they can able to interact with the GCP services from the command line interface. Right. So this is what is our command line interface. So that is Cloud Shell terminal. Okay. So you can able to interact with the GCP services. You can create some IAM policy. You can run some IAM policy. You can create some clusters. You can do kind of a data processing. You can do the data ingestion, data loading also. All of these activities can also be done from the Cloud Shell as well, guys. So this is what is Cloud Shell, everyone. Okay, so whatever the activities that you are doing it from the console can also be done from the Cloud Shell as well. Can also be done from the Cloud Shell as well. So this is what is Cloud Shell. And one more thing about the Cloud Shell is that Cloud Shell, I'm going to open the Cloud Shell in the next window. Okay, instead of moving up and down, we can also open this entire Cloud Shell in the next window. I'm opening it in new window. Click on open in new window. Okay, just click on this button so that it will open a new window. You can close it up here. Okay, it will come here. So it is in the new window, it's separately open. I would like to tell you one thing, that Cloud Shell has two faces. That is nothing but it has two things. One is Cloud Shell terminal, and you also have a one more thing called Cloud Shell editor. You have Cloud Shell terminal, and you also have a Cloud Shell editor. That is, this is what is terminal, and you also have an editor also. Okay, so these are the two things that you have, guys. Cloud Shell has two faces. One is terminal, and the next one is editor. The one which you have seen just now, that is what is your terminal. So this is your terminal, where purely you can able to run some commands. Purely you can able to run some commands. You also have an editor. You see here. So this is what is terminal looks like, and you see open terminal, open editor. So this is terminal open, and this is editor open. At the top you see here, guys, terminal, editor. So both also you can able to open it. So I'll try to open the editor. So this is how our Cloud Shell editor looks like. So you can also open the home directory. So what is this editor is that this is like your code editor. This is exactly like your code editor, where you can able to create some code. whether it is Python code, Java code, Scala code, notebooks, whatever the things you wanted to do it, you can actually do it here. You can actually do it here. So this is what I call it as a Cloud Shell terminal. Sorry, Cloud Shell editor. In the editor, one can able to create any kind of a code. They can create the files, they can create the folders, any kind of a things they can able to create it. It is exactly similar to your Visual Studio Code, VS Code. And it also support the version control. So that means you can also use it for the GitHub Git actions, such as initializing the repository, pushing and pulling, whatever the activities that you can also do it from here, Cloud Shell editor. So that is what is editor, guys. So you have two things in the Cloud Shell. One is terminal and one more is editor. Terminal is purely to run your commands. Terminal is purely to run your commands, but editor is like your code editor, where it supports multiple languages and it provides you the suggestions also, and it also supports creating the files and folders according to your requirement. It also supports the version control properties. All of these things the Cloud Shell editor supports, guys. So this is what is Cloud Shell editor. Okay, so this is what is Cloud Shell editor. So as I told you, Cloud Shell is for web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. You can do almost everything, and you have two things in the Cloud Shell. One is terminal and one more is editor. Okay, yeah, these are the two things are there. Anyone have any question until this moment about the console or Cloud Shell? Anyone have any questions, please? Please raise your hand if you guys have any questions. Okay, so if you do not have any questions, let me move ahead for further. Okay, so our next thing is that Cloud SDK. As I told you guys, this is our third thing. Can anyone tell me what is mean by SDK? What is the full form of SDK? Sir, SDK is nothing but a software development kit. So software development. So it is a software development kit, guys. SDK means software development kit. It is a local based. It is a local based. Okay, I would like to. I want you guys to know that it is a software development kit and it is a local based. That means it is available over the local machine. It is available over the local machine. Sir, how it is available? According to your local machine operating system, you have to download and install. You have to download and install. So this is what is SDK, guys. So it is also a command line interface. This is also a command line interface, but the difference is that it is available over the local machine. It is a local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services. From the local machine, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, they can actually go for the SDK. Okay, they can actually go for the SDK because SDK is nothing but a local based command line interface. Here you can also interact with the GCP services via commands. Here also you can able to interact with the GCP services via commands. So this is what is SDK, everyone. This is what is SDK. Okay, so a local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services from the local machine itself. Sir, can you show me how to install it? Sir, if one wanted to install the local, if one wanted to install this SDK on your local machine, you have to search with install GCP SDK. So you can search with this one. Okay, so install GCP SDK, Google Cloud Platform SDK. So the very first command you see here, install Google Cloud CLI. So just click on that. So install GC in Google Cloud CLI. So that is what. If your operating system is a Linux, you can select a Linux. You have to follow these commands. If your local machine operating system is a Debian or Ubuntu, you have to follow this method. If it is a Red Hat or Fedora, you have to follow this method. If it is a Mac OS, you have to follow this method. If it is a Windows operating system, you have to follow this method. So For Windows operating system, you have to click on this one. For Windows operating system, you see here guys, there's a hyperlink. Just click on this one so that it gets downloaded. You see, when you click on that one, you should be able to see that it is downloaded. You can go and open it in the local machine. So this is how you first download it. The moment you wanted to use the Google Cloud SDK, first you download it to your local machine. How do you download it? According to your operating system, you have three to four operating system. Whether it is Linux or Debian or Ubuntu, Red Hat or Fedora or CentOS, Mac OS or Windows, any operating system you have it, you have to download it and install it. So how do you install it? You already know. Once you download it, you click on this one. Okay, so this is what is an option comes here. Just click on next, just click on agree, just click on next and click on install. That's it. It will be installed on top. It takes like 3 to 4 minutes for you to install it. Once it is installed, that's it. Okay, once it is installed, that's it guys. So this is what it is going to be happening. Okay, you have to install it guys. Okay, so what you have to do, just click on this one. So once downloaded, you click on that one so that this is what happens. Click on the next command, agree the terms and conditions, click on the next, and install it. Okay, so this is what happens. Okay, give me 1 minute guys. Give me 1 minute please. Yeah, sorry guys. So if one wanted to interact with the GCP services from the SDK, what they have to do is that they have to first to go to this particular method. According to their operating system, they have to download it. They have to download the CLI, and you click on it, you can able to download it. For most of our operating system are Windows only. I clicked on Windows. I click on this one so that it gets downloaded here. Once it is downloaded, you go to your machine and you click on it so that you can able to do multiple options like next, you can able to install it. Once it is installed, what we have to do is that you go to your Windows search, Windows start, and you click on with the SDK. You search with SDK. Okay, so when you search with SDK, this is how you should be able to see it. Okay, this is how you should be able to see it. Once you are able to see it, you can able to run your commands. Earlier we were searching, right? So I wanted to list out all the buckets in the Google Cloud Storage, so you can able to see gs util ls. So we have total 6 buckets, right? So we can also do the same thing here. gsutil ls, it will try to show us a list of buckets. See, the same thing. So which we are able to do it from the console can also be done from the Cloud Shell as well. Okay, because Cloud Shell is also one of the interface method to interact with the GCP services, but via command from the local machine. From the local machine we are doing it. So this is my local machine, right? BQLS. So I can able to, sir, I would like to create one of the buckets. Sir, total here we have 6 buckets, right? Sir, I would like to create a one more bucket. Can I do that? Yes. gsutil mb, the make bucket, and the bucket name you can mention here. So you can mention these commands. Don't worry about it. In our upcoming sessions I'm going to tell you in a very detail what are these commands, how do we use that. Just to let you know that this is what we can do. Whatever the things that you are achieving from the console can be done also. Just randomly, random. Okay, just test bucket I'm creating for you. Test bkt 1 2 3 1 2 3, just creating a one more bucket, guys. Test bucket. You see, I am creating a bucket. So sorry, the bucket name is already exist. Let me create one more name. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Perfect. So we have created, guys. So earlier we were running the gsutil ls, right? Now see, this time it should be showing you the 7 buckets. See, this is one of the bucket. You can also see here, you only have 6 buckets, right? The moment you refresh this one, you see here, guys, test bucket 1 2 3 1 2 3 is created. Total 7 buckets are there. So that means one can able to interact from the console, the cloud shell, as well as the cloud SDK. So you can able to do it from the console and cloud shell and cloud SDK. We can able to do all of these things. So this is what I wanted to tell you, guys. Okay, so these are the 3 interface methods are there. One can able to interact from the console. This is what is console. So one can able to interact from the console, and this is what is cloud shell. The next thing is the cloud shell, guys. That can also interact from the cloud shell as well. And the third thing is our cloud SDK. So this is what is our cloud SDK. So you have total 3 interface methods are there. One is console, the cloud shell, and cloud SDK. So console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services visually. Cloud shell is a web-based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. And SDK is a local based command line interface to interact with the GCP services via command from the local machine. From the local machine, you are doing it. So these are the 3 interface methods are there. Okay, so yeah. And we have a 4th interface method, that is what I usually call it as a third party tools. So third party tools, we are not sure, right? In our company, what kind of a third party tools they are using. So just to give you some idea that people can also be interacting. For example, if you assume that this is GCP, people can also be interact with the GCP services from the third party tools also. Some third party tools also. For example, some Power BI. Okay, Power BI is one of the visualization tool. If I wanted to create some kind of a visualizations, if I wanted to create some kind of a visualizations, what we have to do, guys? We need to have the data, right? So this is what I call it as. So if one wanted to create some kind of a visualizations in the Power BI, it needs some kind of a data. So for data purpose, Power BI can access the Google Cloud services, such as one of the service called BigQuery. Okay, from the BigQuery, if it wanted to interact with the BigQuery, so this is what we call it the third-party tool interacting with the GCP services. Okay, for whatever it is, whether it is for extracting the data or loading the data, or interfacing something, or doing whatever the activity it wants. But this is what I call it as a third-party tool. A third party tool which is interacting with the GCP services for loading the data or extracting the data. So this is what we call as a third party tools interacting with the services. So some APIs or third party tools can also interact with the GCP services for some action. It totally depends on your company and project, guys, what kind of a third party tools they are using. Okay, so the list I may not be able to tell you, it depends on your company projects. Okay, so this is what is our 4th method. This is what is our 4th method. So look at here, guys. The very first one is console. which is a graphical user interface, Cloud Shell, which is a command line interface available over the web, which is a local SDK, nothing but a command line interface is available over the local machine, and you have a APIs or third-party tools. Okay, so this is what we call it as a 4 interface methods are there to interact with the GCP services. And we have a note. I have a note I would like to tell you guys. That is, these are some of the common ways to interact with the GCP services. The choice of method depends on your preference, requirements, and the type of interaction you wanted to have it with the GCP resources. Whether it is through a user interface, a command line interface, or APIs, or integration with third-party tools or applications. Okay, so this is what he's saying is that, so the choice of method, it depends on your company's requirement, the main thing. So for example, in your company, if you're working on some project, if they are asking you to use console only, you should use that only. So you do not have a flexibility. That means according to your project requirement, if they say this one, you have to follow this one only. If there's cloud shell, you have to use the cloud shell. If they say SDK, you have to use the SDK only. You do not have any what I call it as, you do not have any kind of a control or flexibility. According to your project, if they're saying this one or that one, you have to use that only. Okay, but if they say anything you can able to use, that means you have a flexibility. That means that depends on your preference now. So some people wanted to use it with the console, some people wanted to do it with the via cloud shell. It totally depends on your interaction that you wanted to have it with the services. Okay, so that is so. Most of the times it depends on the project requirement, then only you have to do it. So this is what I would like to tell you guys. So these are the 4 interface methods are there in the Google Cloud Platform to interact with the GCP services. Okay, so I wanted to stop it here. In the next session, I am going to talk about the console walkthrough, where I am going to tell you free tier account creation, free account creation, and project setup, and billing management, and fourth one is APIs, enabling and disabling the APIs. So these are the 4 things we are going to see in the next topic, guys. I would like to stop the session here for today. If anyone have any questions, you can ask me. I don't want to give you a lot of information in the demo sessions itself because you may be getting confused. From tomorrow onwards, the regular sessions starts and it is a continuation topic. Okay, it will be a continuation topic, guys. Tell me if anyone have any questions, please.
Yeah, hi sir. So I have few questions, and this course
Yes.
is for 2 months, right?
It's of 2.5 months, yes. So I would like to
Okay.
tell you the basic details of the course, so that so the course duration is, guys, the course duration, again I'm telling you, yesterday also I have told you, I'm telling you again, guys, it is of 2.5 months, and we will be having the sessions from Monday to Friday, 1 hour each day. Okay, daily we will be having daily 1 hour session. Okay, 1 hour session, and we will be having live sessions only. These are live sessions only, guys, and the medium is English only we are going to talk, and recordings are provided, daily basis recordings are provided, and notes also provided, comprehensive notes, all of these things. You will also be provided with the resume assistance, interview questions, and all the things are covered here, such as the projects, case studies, and assignments. So all of these things are provided, guys. So just wanted to tell you all of these things. You can see here recordings, notes, and resume assistance. So all of these things are provided. I forgot to tell you the timings are 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily. So from tomorrow onwards, the regular sessions are starting. The timings are 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, I hope this is clear. Yeah, any other questions?
Yes. So coming to the projects, right? So it will be provided for real-time experience, right? I mean, I have
Correct.
general knowledge on this, but the thing is, I don't know the real-time
We
I
will be
mean,
covering all the real-time projects with the industry standard code only. Yesterday I have
okay.
told you all of those things, but for giving you some idea, so we will be covering all the pipelines or use cases like that only, where you will be having data validation things, data architecture, data transformation, logging and monitoring, error handling. However, you will be having in a real-time project, all the real-time projects and case studies will be covered here. Okay, with the industry standard code. Okay, however, you will be working in the code implementation in the company, the same thing, production ready code we are going to create. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So coming to the transformation part, we'll be using only Python or SQL also?
SQL, Python, PySpark. So we will be learning about SQL, Python, PySpark, and Apache Beam. Okay, so these are the three
Okay.
things we are going to. We will also be creating the DAGs. Okay, so these are the
Thanks. Okay.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the things
Yeah.
are covered.
So far, no questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Any other questions, anyone? Does anyone have any questions, please? If anyone have any questions, you can also put it in the chat, guys. I'm available here for next to 5 minutes also. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. And if you need a detailed course curriculum also, it is there in our chat box. You can go to the chat box and you can see the detailed course curriculum also. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see no questions. Okay, so this is it for today, guys. I'm winding up the session for today. So I suggest you to enroll the course. From tomorrow onwards. You will be having the regular sessions. So those who wanted to continue to the regular sessions, please complete your regular enrollments. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining today. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Yes.